Bear Tattoo. The Bears lost to Philadelphia. I think it was 29-14. And I listened to all the experts on the radio, 670 The Score in Chicago today, who are all, they didn't watch the same game I watched. They were all, everything's shitty, the Bears stink, they're no good. They all said they went back and watched the game again. They couldn't have watched the game again. When I first watched it last night, I was depressed. I thought the same thing, that they were terrible. But if you go back and watch the game, it's not terrible. Yeah, they lost. And yeah, there were a couple of critical errors. But for the most part, they were in that game until the end of the third quarter. They were in it. And in fact, they were leading at times. So here's the deal. The first quarter, they held Philadelphia, not the first quarter, but the first half, they held Philadelphia to 3 field goals. They couldn't run the ball. Everybody said, oh, the Bears only had 10 yards rushing. Hey, Philadelphia only had 21. And Philadelphia's passing yardage was the same as the Bears. So don't give me this crap that they got outplayed in the first half, because they didn't. They played pretty well. The problem they have in the first half was they could not get to the quarterback. And when he was flushed from the pocket, they had a bigger problem because they couldn't chase him down. So, kudos to that guy. But when he did get flushed, the problem we had was our defensive backfield couldn't contain their receivers. And so there was a lot of up and down the field, but there was hardly any scoring. What did they score? 9 points? The Bears, on their the first possession was a disaster. I understand that. And Jay got sacked, and there was a mix-up on the offensive line. But the second drive, they went down, and Connor Barth missed a field goal. And I hate the guy's guts because they got rid of Robbie Gould, but there's nothing I can do about it. He missed the field goal. Okay, I understand. It happens. Robbie misses them too. So it was the second time that they got the ball. In the second quarter, that was about all that happened in the first quarter. Philadelphia had a field goal. Bears had a touchdown, or a missed field goal. Second quarter, the Bears marched down the field and scored. I mean, they were winning the game. So this crap of the Bears stink, I'm sorry, I didn't see that when I went back and looked at the game. And so I made some notes here just so I can remember. The Eagles went 3 and out. In the second quarter, the Eagles went 3 and out on two drives. They went 3 and out. The defense was doing their job. In the third quarter, the first 2 drives, the Eagles went 3 and out. The problem was that we got to the fourth quarter. The end of the third quarter, Philadelphia scored a touchdown off of Jay's interception. Okay, that was right at the end of the third quarter. And things started to unravel then. And I don't like to put a lot of stock in injuries, but our whole defense was on the sidelines, our starting defense, except for a few people. I got to give a shout out to Jarrell Freeman. That guy is a stud. He did a lot of good things in that game, and you could tell that he really wants to win those games. And he's all over the field, and he's hitting hard. And some of the other guys out there, that Glenn, they keep picking on him. He's going to get better. Hall, he's going to get better. So defensively, yeah, we've got some gaps and some holes. I think that we're going to have some good stuff there. The other thing is the offense. The offensive line, if you go back and look at the third quarter, let me read you what happened in the third quarter with the Bears' first 2 drives. The first drive, Langford ran for a first down. Then Eddie Royal ran for a first down. And then they fumbled, and that's when Jay fumbled, and they got the ball. In the second drive, and they went 3 and out. The Eagles went 3 and out on that drive. The second drive in that quarter, Langford 5 yards, Langford 4 yards. Reverse to White 9 yards, Howard 10 yards, Howard 8 yards. And it got to 3rd and 6, and Jay threw a shitty pass in the ground, and they had to punt. They were moving the ball. There's things to feel good about there. It's just that they just didn't put them together. So all you people that hate the Bears and think they suck, you're wrong. You didn't watch the game. You didn't go back and look at it like I did. Go back and look at the game. Okay, so now they got to go to Dallas. We don't know if they're going to play Jay. Hey, Hoyer's just going to have to step up to it, man. He's just going to have to play. Next guy up. I think they need to run the ball more. I always say that. Don't put the ball in the quarterback's hands to throw. You got to run the ball. You've got to get behind that offensive line. Don't give Massey a chance to screw up. Don't give any of them a chance. Leno a chance to screw up. You got to keep running the ball. And they were running the ball successfully in that game in the second quarter and at the first part of the third quarter. They were running the ball well. They need to continue to do that. So last night I was ready to pack it in for the Bears. But after watching the game again, I saw a glimmer of hope. So let's see what happens in Dallas. I may be totally wrong, but I'm not a naysayer like Golf on that Spiegel and Golf show. What a crybaby. And then Lawrence Holmes, he's another one that says everything's a disaster, the front office is a disaster, everything's a disaster. All those guys, everything's a disaster. They weren't watching the game, and they claim they watched the game again. Bull crap. They didn't watch the game, and they didn't look at it on individual things that happened in the game, positive things that happened. They only concentrated on the negative. So let's see what happens in Dallas.